Talk, the Geekbox Forums community podcast. This is episode 27 for the week of August 6, 2012. I am Dr. Zoo from the forums, and who is with us this week?
Dark Fox 8.
Good Lord Man, and Lord XP Informs.
Mr. X.
And Totoro.
You know, I'm sure I gave you crap about this last time, Good Lord Man, but why didn't you just make Good Lord Man your name on the forums?
Because I joined the forums before then.
Yeah, he used to play TF2 as Lord 15. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that, but can't you change your, name on the forums?
Okay,
Probably.
fine. I'll note that, and we can talk about it in a different podcast.
Yes, we'll talk about how you changed your forum name on a podcast, because that is interesting.
This is the worst.
We're off to a good start.
Do you know what's not the worst, though? The Mumble server. It has been very busy with lots of new people. Like, for example, Vagrant AI, or Seamus, who was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and people like Great White North. And new people on the forums have tried to join, like Sinekill, and Puppybox was trying to get on a couple times, but his mic wasn't working. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's from people from all over the world getting in here now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Sinekill is actually cynical. But I
Could be.
wrong. I thought
well,
what
he
I
should
was
come
saying
on
about
here
that.
and rectify us.
Yeah, if you're having problems with Mumble, I would PM one of us on the forums, or we can try and help you.
You know, Cynical might not be able to actually get on here because the distance might be just too much for him. He's from
The
South
pain.
Africa.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be a shame because sometimes people like Ryan Higgins likes to jump in, say hi to us.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. You dropped this.
That name, yeah.
Yeah, you
It
dropped
just
that
landed
name.
on my feet.
Yeah.
Is there anything else shameless you want to drop, Dakazoo?
What? Just because I said that sometimes Master Higgins likes to join the Mumble?
And sometimes I play Mortal Kombat with Ryan Scott.
Oh, I'm
How
sorry.
long
you
ago
was
dropped
that?
His name.
A long time ago.
Exactly.
Sometimes I met Hulk Hogan, huh?
You know, whatever. Let's talk about Darfox last night. We watched the Mars landing of the rover Curiosity, and we were all watching the stream together on Mumble, and it was very exciting.
Yeah, it wasn't just us two. It was also Cross, Ronsu, and Vagrant AI. I think that was it. Or was Seamus there? Or, I don't recall.
I don't think Seamus was there. Kenzo was there, but not there.
Yeah, he showed up later and like, Dark Fox, what are you doing here? Because I usually leave around 11 or 12 for my time, and I was there like at 2:30 in the morning. And
It was exciting.
yeah, it was definitely exciting. And Ronsu, I guess knows his space stuff. Because there's some time I will say something in Arky, he'll be like, actually, this happens like this, it's actually like this. I'll be like, oh, okay, interesting, good to know.
Yeah, it's not bad when people come on and explain interesting things that may or may not be technical.
You know, I was listening to an episode of the Nerdist podcast that had Bill Nye on it, and he was talking about the problems with sending people to Mars.
Like what? Especially, you don't remember?
Distance.
There was, the distance and gravity and deep space radiation.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Mars doesn't have a spinning metal core, so it doesn't create a magnetic barrier such as Earth, which is actually one of the reasons why it's not very easily settled, and it would probably be very problematic to be terraformed.
No, I mean, he was talking about gravity for the problem with traveling there through space, because that long a time in 0G would be bad for your bones.
Yeah. How long did it take?
8 months.
There, like 8 months. I was gonna say 33 weeks or something like that. So 8 months. That's like a long time.
But he also solved that problem on the podcast. He said they just need to have a ship big enough to spin so that it creates gravity.
That makes me think of 2010. They had the Leonov, which spun.
It made me think of the Gravitron.
Work through it, man.
Yeah, spin,
Gravitron.
span, spun, spoon,
Spinning?
spoon.
Spun? Spinned.
So wait, how would it create gravity? Towards the center of the ship or towards the walls of the ship?
The
Towards
walls.
It would
Centrifugal
be
force.
Yeah, with
Centripetal.
centrifugal force.
Centripetal.
Centrifugal.
Are
Listen
you
to us try and
are you
pronounce
sure?
words.
Are you sure?
Well, it's not that you're mispronouncing it. It's just that you're using the wrong force. Of course, now that my younger brother is probably going to listen to this, he's going to straighten me out and say that
Nuclear.
I'm wrong.
You know, I've been
Don't say
on.
nuclear.
I have been on the Gravitron. It
So
made me
like-
dizzy.
It didn't make me dizzy. It just made me pressed against the wall.
They say you're not supposed to go upside down. But everybody
Why did go
falls
upside down
Yeah,
and
they
slide
do.
there? So
What?
some guy was like standing, like this guy's a boss.
What?
He's just standing on the wall.
I didn't know that was possible. He just like planted his feet straight on the wall and was just standing like
Yeah.
perpendicular.
I mean, multiple times. I've been on the graviton like at least 5 times in my life. Just a guess. It might be 20. It might be one time. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen multiple people do that.
That sounds amazing.
So that's how gravity on a spaceship of that way would work.
They have
Yes.
guys with mullets will be standing on the hulls of the spaceship
And they'd be
Yep.
pouring drinks sideways.
outside of the hull. So the distance of the distance for me. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Doesn't sound like it's that big a deal. You just have to get people who had good psychological profiles and good like diets or exercise regimens going on there or something. What interests me more was like more fascinating is like the space radiation, that type of stuff, like the actual perils of once they get there, how do they get back, like do they do a similar thing like with the lunar lander where the ship stays in orbit and they send something down, like that's the interesting stuff to me.
Well, and I think, to answer, talking about the things about, what like zero G will do to your body. I mean, your muscle tone will go relatively quickly, and they know this because they've had astronauts and cosmonauts go up and be aboard, like at first, Mir, and then the International Space Station. That's one of the things that they've always kind of battled and dealt with.
Also, bone density. You'll start
bone
peeing out
density.
your bones.
And it seems that space is smelly.
Well, I think that's probably just I imagine it smells like an airplane.
It could be the
Space
smell of dark
itself?
matter.
I've been told, but I think I read a quote by astronaut says it smells like a gym locker.
That doesn't surprise me entirely.
That space smells like a gym locker.
Wait, is that just the
Oh.
dudes in the close quarters, or is that
Yeah.
space?
Space, you would think would smell like cold and then death.
I meant in the space station.
Yeah.
Oh, that would smell like a lock because you have that many people that close.
Do you know what's fascinating about the Mars landing was the entire approach that they had to take to land that thing?
It was fucking elaborate as hell.
Yeah, it was
That-
really crazy elaborate. Like they had to drop it at the right distance, and they had the heat shield on the bottom. Then they had to deploy a sonic parachute. After the sonic parachute slows it down, they had to like detach from
The
like
parachute.
the main thing. Yeah, and then they had to rocket, like propel it, use propulsion to like counteract the descent. So it's actually floating, and then in the final stages, it was floating like what was it, 20 feet above the surface, and a space crane, lowered the rover onto the ground.
Yeah, normally
That's wild.
you just think to like lower the thrusters all the way to the ground, but they realized that would kick up so much dust that would fuck up the rover once it settles down. So they did it like a crazy elaborate way.
Yeah, and that rover is huge. It's like the size of a car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot bigger than the other ones.
Yeah, this one will never get stuck on some tiny little insignificant rock.
My
Or if
favorite
they
part
do-
about
if
that
they do,
landing.
someone's getting fired.
Sorry, the favorite part of the landing was watching the reaction of some of the people when it was successful. They're freaking out, and also I realized that the rover had its own Twitter account and
Yeah,
it's saying stuff
Yeah.
like "I've successfully landed." Oh boy, see you in 7 minutes. When I'm descending. It was just
Yeah.
funny.
There
I-
are engineers there that are happier than any time that we will have in our life.
Well, they
Right,
spent
yeah.
like 500 years in work hours or something like that working on it total. All
Yeah,
the people
man
that
hours, work
Wasn't it
hours.
2.5 billion or some kind of crazy amount of money?
Well, yeah, but that's when you take that into account versus like just as an example how much it's costing London and the UK to put on the Olympics. They could have done it 6 times over.
Craziness.
I mean, it's the budget for NASA and to do all this stuff is not. I mean, yeah, when you put a dollar figure on it like that, yeah, it is it is a lot, but when you think about it in terms of other stuff we spend money on, I don't think it's that much. And I mean, who knows what sort of advances will come out of the knowledge of them trying to apply this technology or apply what we know to solving a new problem like this.
It is a good year for science. You have to admit that. Mars rover and the Higgs boson.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, I finally this year I finally feel like the nerds won. We finally fucking won.
We are living in the future, and don't think the 80s will make a comeback, because then it will be the future of Back to the Future.
I don't understand what you just said.
Yeah, that was really confusing.
Well, there's the Back to
But
the
I still
Future
liked
movies.
I didn't.
So we were watching it live, and so they applauded periodically for every single phase that went correctly. One was they receiving information from the Odyssey, which was a satellite. They weren't sure that was going to happen. The other was the parachute that went right, the thrusters that went right, the crane that went right, and when it finally did touchdown, that's when the huge applause went out, right? But there was one dude who preempted the touchdown, and he did a really funny fist bump, and nobody went with him. He kind of sat back
But
down quietly.
2 seconds later, then everybody did it. It was really funny.
Cool dudes, bunch of nerds being cool.
Space, and speaking of space, there's this certain supervillain that is going to be possibly transferred to a different movie studio, right, X?
Yes.
Spaceman.
Well, it's not just the villain. Fox wants to trade Disney, the owners of Marvel, Silver Surfer and Galactus, if they can keep Daredevil, because they want to make a new Daredevil movie.
Does anyone else think this is a bad idea?
I didn't
Bad
really
idea
care for
for
the
who?
Daredevil movie.
Bad idea for who?
For Fox.
No, well, I mean, you have to think about it like this: the only real way that they can make the Silver Surfer and Galactus into or use them is to essentially remake the last movie that they made, which with the Fantastic Four, which flopped.
Well, they are rebooting Fantastic Four.
Right, but I don't.
Hollywood
I think
holds
that
grudges.
I think that in the long run, Daredevil will probably do better for them financially.
They probably want to turn that into a super serious Dark Knight clone.
That makes
you think
sense
that's
for them.
possible?
Yep.
Daredevil?
Now you say that, I think that's totally possible.
Definitely possible now that the movies for The Dark Knight are done.
But I think this could be good for Disney.
Yeah,
I think it's weird.
They could get
Sorry, go
Galactus and Silver Surfer into the next Avengers, or
I mean,
more like
because that
Avengers
totally
3.
fits. Well, I mean, Galactus and Thanos, if memory serves, were never, buddy. So I mean, that could almost be a Deus Ex Machina device.
Was Thanos the guy who had the Gauntlet of Infinity?
Yes,
Yes.
Infinity Gauntlet. Yes.
He's also the guy who shows up at the end of the Avengers movie.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh well, at this point, after this movie's made, like $600 million, if you've not gone and seen it,
I think it's
then
closer
have no sympathy.
to a couple
Yeah,
billion.
but you know what? X is right. I'm sorry. I should have said spoilers. Oh,
But-
wells.
In the comic, when Galactus got the Gauntlet of Infinity, he was actually a nice guy because he didn't have to eat plants anymore, because he could just create plants and then eat them.
Okay, so Galactus is the guy that eats planets. So gotcha. I wasn't sure who he was.
Yes, but only when he's hungry.
He's
then
also
I
the
think-
final boss in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So.
Spoilers.
Oh God.
The Avengers
fighting
has made $1,461,368,487. Yeah,
What's the domestic?
616 million.
Is that adjusted for inflation for the year 2012?
It came out in 2012.
Well, you just blew my
What?
mind.
Whoa.
So,
Reverse that inflation for 1939, and it made next to Gone with the Wind, it made $2.
so I find it weird that Marvel or Disney has to negotiate with terrorists to get their properties back. Can't they just say no, fuck you, it's ours, and just take everything back?
You'd think, but then they'd first things they'd go after would be Spider-Man and X-Men.
Yeah, which are
Yeah.
Sony and
Fox.
respectively.
And Sony and Fox are not giving up Spider-Man and X-Men.
No, they'll pump them out every so often until they. And I think that's the way that's going to work, is that they have to make a new movie in the franchise every so often to keep the rights.
They do. And speaking of that, Fox has started filming the new Wolverine movie.
Oh,
Will
they're
That's the
making
next
another one?
movie.
It's called The Wolverine.
Will there be Deadpool?
I doubt it.
Is
But
it Hugh Jackman?
yeah, it's Hugh
Yes.
Jackman, and he's like a hobo.
With a shotgun.
No, he doesn't have a shotgun. He has claws that come out of his hands. Why would he need a shotgun?
I want to see. Do you know what the setting is?
It's like in Japan, I think.
Oh, good,
Hmm,
good. That's
so
cool.
it's a direct sequel to Origins. It's still canonical
was-
to like the movie lines.
I was actually watching, or not watching. I was on a internet site known for its community, and they were showing images that they took from the set, and they're actually filming it in Australia, but it being Australia, and they needed part of it to look, at least part of it to look like Canada. That looked like, looked like snow's out on the ground. They actually just put white sheets out,
Yep.
just all over fields, and I was like, that is
Movie magic.
movie magic. I was like,
Why wouldn't they just
this is
film
so
in
perfect for me.
Canada?
Well, it may have been in Hugh Jackman's contract.
Who knows?
I will not leave Australia ever again.
Mate.
I starred in Australia.
I guess he likes all those spiders, huh?
Well, he could. It may have been something to where he was willing to take, a little bit of a cut on his salary if they moved the production to Australia.
Or maybe it was just cheaper to film there.
See, if they're gonna
Oh,
film
exactly.
in Australia, why don't they just use those awesome like spider cobweb explosion to make the snow effect? You guys saw those pictures, right?
No, sir.
I prefer not to think about it.
I'm pretty sure this happened in Australia, but there was like a flooding, and all these spiders moved into this town, and they had completely covered like the fields with cobwebs, just taken over.
That is
Nope.
bizonkerous.
And I'm pretty
No.
sure it's Australia, because where else is this gonna happen?
Spiderlandia.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona?
It could happen in Indiana, right
God damn
outside
it.
of
God damn it.
Kentucky.
God damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Nope. 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 Nope.
I think it'd be closer to Louisville.
No. God damn it. No. I'm
So-
not gonna sleep tonight.
It's just millions of spiders. What's so wrong about that?
Crawling all over your face.
Well,
You know,
millions. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say a joke, a great one, by the way. I was gonna say, well, millions of spiders means like 8 million legs. Get it?
You said it was gonna be a great joke, and it kind of was.
They
Oh,
say
I'm
you.
laughing.
I don't get it.
Because spiders have 8 legs. And there's just a
Nope.
million spiders.
Don't
Nope,
explain it.
Nope.
You
Nope,
see,
no,
it's funny
no.
because I'm still looking at these hobo Wolverine pictures, and he does look like a hobo.
Doesn't he?
I just think it's a good idea to set it in Japan, because if you're gonna do a standalone Wolverine story, it's better to just get him away from the X-Men and just put him in kind of a foreign setting.
They make it crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just have him have his own kind of like, you can build up his character and like have a good story arc. I think it's easier.
Well,
to-
it is based on a comic. I'm not sure which one though.
Yeah, Wolverine has been in like samurais before or some shit. He knows his stuff.
One thing that I am really thankful for, as much as you can be with comic book movies and all that stuff, is that Hugh Jackman is still kind of, he's still playing Wolverine, whereas we've had two Professor X's, we've had you've had like multiple different incarnations of like a lot of the major characters so far.
Well, he is
And
kind
other-
of a really good Wolverine.
He's
a little too
Now
tall.
that anyone, well, yeah, he's like a foot too tall.
He's supposed to be practically a midget,
Yeah, he's supposed to be 5'4" ish.
and he's like 10 feet tall or something.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, I
you
think-
know? Go ahead. Sorry, I was saying my thing afterwards.
I was just. Oh, you didn't have a did you know?
What-
The more
wait,
you know.
what?
Da, na, na, na.
What's sad with all the movie rights and such, I would have actually loved seeing an Old Man Logan movie, but that requires rights from both X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Avengers.
Explain.
Well, you need the Hulk character, you need Captain America and the Red Skull, you need the one woman who can transform into Diamond in the movies.
Emma Frost.
And you need Venom.
Venom.
Yeah.
Wait, is
there's
this the one where the symbiote attaches itself to Wolverine?
No, to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and Wolverine is an old man. Because this is the that's the title of the whole sort of series, is Old Man Logan.
You know, that sounds really stupid, but also really amazing at the same time. Because the symbiote...
Exact-
is really amazing.
Because
Yeah,
the
it's
symbiote
like that-
attaches itself to a T-Rex.
Exactly. It's like a combination of stupid, but so stupid it sounds great.
But not too stupid, like Red Hulk having the powers of the symbiote and the Spirit of Vengeance.
No.
No?
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want to hear
Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
No.
that.
Yes.
No, I already
No,
talked
that-
about how like Ghost Rider Vengeance, whatever it was terrible.
I still haven't watched that.
Don't.
But
Watch
I,
it
I recently
and tell-
rewatched Kick-Ass, and that has Nicolas Cage in it, and he was great.
Yeah, instead of Ghost Rider, you should just watch Con Air again.
I didn't say. Remember, I didn't say the movie was bad because of Nicolas Cage. I said the movie was bad because it was just bad direction.
Tar Fox, what's better, Con Air or Nicolas Cage's mullet in Con Air?
You know, that's like separating some sort of inseparable thing. Because that movie's great.
It is
Well, it's
great.
going to be Con Air because it contains the mullet.
Or does the mullet contain Con Air?
The
The mullet
mullet
is
is
the
the
movie.
con in the air. That is the convict. The mullet is the lawbreaker.
Yeah, I was going to say the mullet is the real crime against humanity in that movie.
It wasn't Nicolas Cage killing that guy?
No,
No.
he was just defending his girlfriend later, where he grew a mullet, and that's when they put it in prison.
Yes.
The mullet is an evil symbiote.
The mullet is Venom?
Okay, we're moving on. X, you saw another movie.
I did.
You wanted to talk about?
I did. I do. It is called Rubber. I am going to read the IMDb plot synopsis for you.
It's amazing.
When Robert, a tire, discovers his destructive telepathic powers, he soon sets his sights on a desert town. In particular, a mysterious woman becomes his obsession. The movie is about
Wait.
a psychic tire.
What, like a car tire?
Yes.
Yep.
And a real woman.
Yes.
So, can we spoil the plot right here? Because I read a little bit of the synopsis, and I just jumped to the end, and I read like a few sentences, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Can I say what I just read?
Well, first I'll say how the movie opened. Then you go ahead. It opens with all these chairs set up desert, and then a car comes and hits each chair, and the chair just falls into pieces. And then there's also a guy standing there holding like 20 binoculars. And then a guy gets out of the car's trunk, takes a glass of water from the guy driving, and then he goes and starts talking to the camera. And he says, in Spielberg's E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason. And then he starts going on bringing up other movies like JFK. Why does JFK get shot by a stranger in JFK? No reason. And it's just utter nonsense. And he just
Okay, that makes the
saying,
ending make more sense.
and he says this movie is in celebration of no reason.
He actually breaks the fourth wall at the beginning and just talks to the audience.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
the guy hands all the binoculars to... Oh, yeah. But then when he was done talking, he dumped out the glass of water and got back in the trunk, and then they drove away.
He didn't even drink it.
Nope, dumped it out.
This is madness.
And then the guy hands all the binoculars, and they start watching the tire. And they're talking about saying, oh, I hope this isn't black and white. And he says, I hope there's talking in this. So they were watching the movie. Inside
Okay,
the
What?
movie.
that's what I was gonna get into.
Yeah. And then they don't have any food or water with them or anything. And then like 30 minutes into the movie, the tire gets a hotel room after watching a girl take a shower. And then it gets on the bed and starts watching TV.
What?
And then the guy that had all the binoculars has a phone call, and then he gets off the phone, hangs up, and he turns, and there's a turkey in the room with him. And then he kills the turkey and gives it and roasts it and gives it to all the people that didn't have any food that are watching the movie. But then it turns out that the turkey was poisoned, and it kills everyone except for one guy. He's like, "You guys are savages. That was clearly poisoned. I didn't eat any. Don't worry, I'll see this through." But then the guy that was in the trunk thought that everyone was dead, but it turned out one guy was alive. But then he was saying, "It's okay. This is all fake. Here, watch. Take this gun. Shoot me." And then they shot him, saying, "See, I don't feel a thing." And then the other guy comes up to him and says, "There's one guy still alive." And then the other guy says, "I've made a terrible mistake." And then he starts walking around, just acting like a cop again.
And they took the time out of the movie to show all this.
Yes,
That is the movie.
that's
What?
the movie. And then there was a scene where a housekeeper goes into the maid, housekeeping goes into the hotel room that had the tire, and then she starts making the bed, and the tire and all the sheets are filthy because there was a tire on it. And then the shower's running, and then she just opens up the shower curtain, and it shows the tire just sitting there taking a shower. And then she takes the tire and throws it out and says freaks or weirdos or something. And then the tire goes back in and makes her head explode.
When was this movie made?
2010.
It is earlier than I thought.
Or sooner, like closer to us than you thought.
Yeah.
Wait.
It would sound like a movie from the 80s or something, right?
Yeah, I was going to say late 80s, early 90s.
At the best part of the movie was this scene where they got a mannequin that looked kind of like the lady that the tire was obsessed with, and they put a speaker on it with a bomb, and then they knocked on the door, and then someone ran, and then the tire came out, and then she started yelling at the tire through the speaker on the mannequin far away, trying to get it to explode her head because there was a bomb on it. And then the guy that didn't eat poison turkey goes and knocks on the van that they're in and says, "Why don't you guys just go up to it with a flamethrower? This part doesn't make any sense at all. It seems too slow." And they're like, "This is very deliberate. We know what we're doing." And then it doesn't work. And then the guy just goes in with a machine gun and shoots the tire.
And that's how it ends?
No.
Starfox, how does it end?
It shows the tire like reincarnated as like a tricycle wheel.
No, as a
And
whole
then
tricycle.
As a whole tricycle.
Yes.
And then it goes and kills off like the last remaining of the plot, and then it creates like a tire army or something, and then it walks into like Hollywood, I guess, to take over Hollywood or something.
The one guy that wasn't poisoned, he's like, "I'm just watching, I'm just observing, you can't kill me." And then the tricycle kills him. And then it creates its tire army and starts and then killing everyone. And it kind of becomes post-apocalyptic and then ends.
This was an American movie.
This movie...
French, I think.
No, I think it's... Possibly. I don't know.
I think it was a French
Explains
director.
a little bit.
It's all in English.
Explains a little bit.
And the guy from Community is in it.
Which guy?
Joe McHale.
Don't be crazy. Fat Neil.
Oh.
He was in 7 episodes of Community.
Chevy Chase.
No, I already told you who.
Are you... I don't even have words. Like, what do you recommend this movie? Like,
No,
it
the
just
movie
sounds
is
like,
bad.
It just sounds like utter nonsense.
It's bad. It makes no sense at all. It's barely a movie.
This movie exists. Deal with it.
It's kind of boring. I was all excited because I thought it said it had David Bowie in it, but then it turned out it was David Bowie, and Bowie was spelled Bowe. So I misread it, and it was in the credits. So I was all excited for David Bowie, and then there was no David Bowie.
Sounds like a real
Totoro.
bummer.
Totoro, what do you make of all this?
I think I need to watch this movie.
The tagline for the movie is, "Are you tired of the expected?"
That's pretty good.
Because it's about a tire. This movie is nonsense.
It sounds complete bonkers.
I've been trying to
That's
figure
not
out. I've been trying to figure out what segue we could do from this, but there's no such thing.
Let's just talk about Assassin's Creed 3 getting an exclusive 60 minutes of content, because where else can we go from
Well,
there?
would one of you like to do a dramatic reading of the first lines of the movie?
Darfox?
Wait, don't rope me into this. What's the first line of the movie?
Actually,
There, I
this is
gave
true.
you-
Totoro does all...
I gave you a
Totoro
link.
Does,
Just scroll down where it says first lines.
Totoro does all the impressions on this podcast. Totoro, read that.
Do you want me to read it? How do you want me to read
Where it says
Read it as
Lieutenant
Starbucks.
Chad.
No, how do you want me to read it?
British? What do you mean how?
Oh,
Silent.
yes,
I can do it.
No, British is good. I want to hear Totoro's British.
Oh god, I'm trying
me-
to. I was okay.
Remember, scroll down where it says first lines.
Yeah, I see it. I'm my British is so bad, and it goes, it like waffles into Irish and Scottish and Australian.
I'll play
and it's
Cop
just-
Xavier. You go. Lieutenant
just,
Chad.
just let it travel.
You don't have to do it British if you don't want to.
In the Steven Spielberg movie E.T., why is the alien brown? No reason. In Love Story, why do the two characters fall madly in love with each other? No reason. In Oliver Stone's JFK, Why is the president suddenly assassinated by some stranger? No reason. In the excellent Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hooper, why
Keep
don't
going.
we ever see the characters go to the bathroom or wash their hands like people in real life? Absolutely no reason. Worse, in The Piano by Polanski,
Pianist.
how come this guy has to hide and live like a bum when he plays the piano so well? Once again, the answer is no reason. I could go on for hours with more examples. The list is endless. You probably never gave it a thought. But all the great films, without exception, contain an important element of no reason. And you know why? Because life itself is filled with no reason. Why can't we all see the air around us? No reason. Why are we always thinking? No reason. Why do some people love sausages and other people hate sausages? No fucking reason.
Beep, beep. Come on, don't waste your time explaining that garbage. Let's go.
Just a minute, let me finish. Ladies, gentlemen, the film you are about to see is an homage to the no reason, that powerful element of style.
Pours a glass of water on the ground, getting back drunk at the police car.
Clap, 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 clap. Yay!
That was
That was pretty
Australian.
Worst
Yes, I
accent I've
know.
ever heard.
That was
I-
really British.
I don't know.
That was a terrible Cockney at best.
Okay, I will do.
Yeah.
I will read the last line of the movie. Man in wheelchair. Hey, wait! It's not the end. He's been reincarnated as a tricycle.
So, Rubber 2, Electric Rubber Lou.
Wait, that's the last thing, last line in the movie,
Yeah.
That's the last line of the movie.
and then he gets killed.
Yep.
And then they go, okay.
And then it shows a tire rolling down the street with the tricycle rolling down the street with tires. Also, another line. Excuse me, I hate to be a bother, but the way I look at it, this scene makes no sense at all. Not that it was great to begin with, but at least I understood it. Now this is just totally confusing. That was another line from the movie.
We need to move on from this because it's just utter nonsense at this point.
Before we do, if you really have to see it, it looks like it's not only is it available on Netflix, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can get it on Amazon Prime Instant Video at no charge.
You know, Amazon UK posted kind of a spoiler for Assassin's
That's
Creed
not a spoiler.
3. Well, not a spoiler, I guess, but like it's something that we didn't know about. It says on like the cover of the PS3, it says exclusive 60 minutes of content.
Yeah, just in the PS3 version.
What the
seems
hell
like-
does that mean?
It means it's going to have some extra minutes that the 360 and PC versions won't have. Because game developers hate the people that buy their games.
Well, could just be EA.
EA doesn't make Assassin's Creed.
It's not EA.
Ubisoft. Same difference.
Ubi.
One is French, one is American.
The French EA?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, at this point, they're the French EA.
You know, though, the way, you know, since I watch a lot of speedruns and I hear a lot of people talk about speedruns, to me that just sounds like the difference between different versions of the game where one version of the game loads slightly faster in some aspects so that at the end of the run, it's always going to be like at least 5 minutes faster than the other one. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it's not even going to be actual content. It's just that the gameplay is going to last longer for some reason.
So are you saying they're counting the mandatory PS3 install as gameplay?
Possibly.
I can't
That
That
doubt
would
that.
be
would be
exclusive.
That would be hilarious.
I see it as an evolution of what various video game distribution platforms have been doing of you buy it here, you get this little bit of content. Buy it here, you get this content.
Yeah,
You
like at one time exclusives were like whole games, right? But now exclusives are just content or like maps or stuff like that. I mean, Sony has a lot of like exclusive stuff, but usually they're inconsequential. Sort of like Bioshock Infinite is going to bring Bioshock 1 on it for the PS3, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I mean, at least Bioshock 1 is available on 360, so 360 people can play it if they want. But this, you're
Well-
locking people that are paying money for your game out of content from your game.
Isn't that just DLC then?
Not really, not if it's there from launch.
Well, it says exclusive, but it doesn't say if it's timed exclusive, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and I guess I've never cared, about things that are, bonus. If it's bonus to the game, I don't know that I care. But if it's something that, and we won't know until it comes out, and everyone plays it.
I mean, this is
But
recent, right?
if
Wasn't
it's-
this like today that this was like
Yeah, discovered.
broken? Yeah, so we still don't know a lot of things about it. We're just initially reacting to it.
It's dumb.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying though is like, a bonus is one thing, but to have something that could potentially be germane to the game or to the story, that could suck.
Yeah, I really hate pre-order bonuses too. Especially when it's just when it's in-game content, because then you're also locking people out of content that was made for the game. I know it could be just extra, but a lot of times it's like dungeons or the ability to run instead of walking everywhere.
Well, I mean, but if it's something like, if you get, if it's something that's cosmetic, or if it's something that you just don't have to unlock, later on in the game, then, I don't know that I care.
Well, yeah, of course you don't care because at that point, like, it doesn't have anything to do with like really your play experience. Like, an alternate Batman costume is not gonna like be like, oh no, end of the world. But like when it's like Street Fighter X Tekken and they're actually locking you out of characters that are already on the disc,
Yeah, that's awful.
that's kind of bullshit.
And not only that,
Yeah,
they're locking you out of characters that are on the disc until like the Vita version comes out months later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, does anyone remember when Arkham Asylum came out? And
Are you Arkham
The-
City?
no, Arkham Asylum.
With the Scarecrow bonuses?
No, I'm specifically
It
thinking
was-
about where you could go back through and play the game as Joker.
It wasn't the whole game. It was like challenge room.
Yeah, that was just challenge rooms.
Oh, was it Challenge Rooms?
But
Okay.
that's still content though.
I think that was a
is kind of the same
PS3
thing. Yeah.
exclusive,
It was
wasn't
a
it?
PS3 exclusive, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just thinking about that, and it's like, it's the same thing.
I mean, what if like it was like a completely alternate like Animus mission or whatever, or experience told from the perspective of who's the guy in the real world, Desmond? Yeah, what if it was like 60 minutes of
I've never
Desmond?
played the game, and I know.
I'd be pissed.
Explaining
What if
how
it's
you're in the
a-
past future.
What if it's an alternate ending?
Equally pissed.
What if it's 60 minutes of behind the scene footage, and it's just some programmer sitting on his desk with
Coding.
Visual Studio open, coding, just
Coding the gameplay.
Doesn't even show the monitor, shows his face coding.
yeah, exactly.
It will just be 60 extra minutes of load time.
Yeah,
Well,
that's basically what I was thinking.
we're all in agreement that this kind of stuff is no good. But
No,
it's gonna
I
depend
think it's
on.
great.
Shut up,
I'm
Darfox.
kidding.
It's gonna depend on like as we find out more information, like what exactly is the exclusive content, and how did they measure the time? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's nebulous.
I don't know. Not having a guy that does speedruns do it.
Some beta errors.
They never will hold down the thumbstick all the way, so he's just walking the whole mission.
Yeah, it's really like 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes of corridors.
It's just extra strange that it says 60 minutes.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Very exact.
Maybe it's a timed mission.
That's a good point.
That is 60 long?
Yes, you have 1 hour to walk across the street and pickpocket some guy.
But do you know what? Even if it was like a time mission, that would not necessarily equal 60 minutes of gameplay. Because what if you had like an hour time mission, real time, but like you had like, unless they made it completely straight laced and there's only one way to do it correctly, you could explore a lot of extra content when you're trying to do the mission. You know how they always have alternate paths.
You take a ship to France and get Benjamin Franklin away from whores.
Maybe you have to watch a clock for 60 minutes, and then an hour later, something happens to the clock, and then you have to grab an item.
This isn't Takeshi's challenge, okay? It's not some crappy Japanese Famicom game from Game Center CX, right, Darfox?
Yeah, I haven't seen that episode yet though.
Yeah, there was
That
a
episode is so... Oh, God.
yeah. There's the Game Center CX guy had to play his first episode. He had to play this game made by Beat Takeshi. He's the actor who was in like Brother and a bunch of Japanese Yakuza films.
He was in Battle Royale. I think American nerds have seen Battle Royale.
Yeah. He was the guy who was running.
Did you know?
Yeah,
I
like a
think.
teacher guy.
Bringing up Battle Royale just reminded me that the CW is interested in making a Battle Royale TV show.
They are insane because there won't be. Wait, did you say reality TV show?
What's
Not
the point of having a
reality, no.
Battle Royale TV show
Okay,
that's not
okay.
super violent?
Yeah, they
But anyway-
have
Yeah.
to take all of the teenagers killing each other out. They said that in an interview. So what's the
Then
point?
what's the point?
Isn't
Exactly.
that the
Then it becomes
You were
the
left
Hunger
with-
Games.
Wait, let me
No, that still is teenagers killing each other.
let me finish with this Beat Takeshi thing. So in this, Beat Takeshi made a Famicom game, the Japanese NES, and he hated people who play video games. So he's like, I'm gonna make this fucked up game. So in one part of the game, a map shows up on the screen that says, to view this map, you must leave this game on for like an hour. Come back in an hour. And you literally cannot press any buttons. You just have to leave it for an hour. Because if you press it too early, the game yells at you and makes you do it again.
That does not sound like a good game.
It's basically like the troll game. It has like a billion mini games. Well, not a billion, but like a bunch of mini games that troll you.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the initial screen it says something to the effect of press the A button like 20,000 times to go immediately to the end.
It sounds
And there's
like it's like that Penn and Teller game where you have to drive a van across America.
smoke and mirrors.
Yes, that
I
was-
I was about to say
driver.
that actually.
It's made in
Yeah.
that same kind of vein, yeah. Desert Bus for
Well,
Hope. Well,
Desert
that's the
Bus.
charity.
Yeah, except it was
Yeah.
actually released in Japan.
Yeah, it's from their collection of mini games called Smoke and Mirrors, which I don't think it was actually ever released anywhere.
No, it wasn't. But people got like ROMs, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah. So what was the other thing from that Takeshi game? Oh, the karaoke.
Yeah, the
Because
Japanese Famicom has it has a microphone input, which is actually
Only on the second controller.
yeah, and that was something you actually use in Zelda. You know the bunny ears guys? Like if
The
you
post carriers?
no in
What?
the original Zelda, there were these enemies that look kind of like rabbits. They had long ears, and if you look in the instruction booklet, it says like they don't like loud noises. In the Famicom version, what you would have to do is you would actually scream into the microphone, and it would like stun them, like they'd freeze in place or something like that. But that didn't translate to the NES because the NES didn't have a microphone.
Yeah, there's still part of me that wants like an AV Famicom. I don't know why.
So, question about the Famicom. It has two controllers tethered in all the time, right?
Yes,
You can't disconnect them, right?
you cannot.
Nope.
So how does Cacho, the guy from Guest CX, use a turbo controller in some episodes?
There is a input where you can
An extra
attach.
info that. Okay, I see.
I forget where it is.
Question answered.
Yes.
So how do we segue from here?
Oh, we just segue because
Insomniac's next game hasn't been canceled.
Oh
What
yeah,
was their next game?
Overstrike.
Is that the
Overstrike.
multi-platformer?
Yep.
Yeah.
it was
It
going
was
to be
supposed to
canceled.
be.
Well, because
Well,
nobody has heard anything since like 2 years ago or something, like 2011.
Yeah.
Big whoop.
Or
No one
a
hasn't
year
heard
ago.
anything about Last Exile, and not Last Exile, The Last Guardian. That's still,
it?
It's
I
apparently going.
hope
going.
so.
I'm sure it is.
But all we know
It
is
just-
that the guy on a message board that works for Insomniac said that he's playing it right now.
Yeah, Jay Stevenson. He's the community manager or something like that.
Yep.
They're
I wonder if this game is actually going to be pushed to like next gen at this point, like be a launch
I don't-
game for the next gen consoles.
Nah.
That would be a smart
I
thing
don't
to
know
do.
I don't know if Insomniac wants to do that again because Resistance 1 was like a loud drama, but I guess it paid off for them in the end because it was like the one good game the PC had for like a year and it sold a lot.
Yeah, the launch games are pretty much guaranteed to sell well because of lack of options.
But it totally, like, that game was finished like 2 weeks before they had to ship it basically. It totally destroyed them. Like, making launch games is like super hazardous because you don't even know what hardware you work with till like way late into the development supposedly.
Yep.
I don't. There's something about that doesn't ring true to me.
Are you a game developer?
No, but I have developed, before, and to not have a good idea of what you're working with until the very end, because you have to remember not only is it dependent on the game developers to get stuff out. I mean, there's a huge ramp up time for the manufacturers, for the console manufacturers. They have to know well in advance. They have to negotiate contracts for the components. They have to do all sorts of shit to make sure that they get what they need.
Well, that game started out as a PS2 game, and it could be that they ported it from the PS2 to the PS3 in like 6 months or something. Because
Well, from what I recall, they basically were making the game on a PC or something, and then when they actually had to put it into the PS3 hardware, they were like, "Fuck, this is like completely different."
yes, it's pretty well known that the PS3 hardware is very different than everything else.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very tough to develop for.
Yeah. Well, either way, Orstrike seemed like a cool game, and I'm glad it didn't get canceled. I didn't think it was, but it is weird that they haven't said anything. Insomniac typically is pretty open about the development. You know, like, oh, we're still making this. They used to have regular podcasts every 2 weeks.
Yeah, their podcast was pretty good.
Yeah, but they kind of went quiet now,
Yep, but
which is okay as long as they get the game done.
I'm glad it still exists.
Mm-hmm.
So
You know what else exists? DayZ.
it does. Is it DayZ or is it Days?
I don't know. I don't really care. You asked me to bring this up.
Daisy
'Cause
is a weird name for a zombie game. Daisy sounds like a flower.
What exactly are we going to talk about this?
Daisy,
How it's popular?
Daisy.
Yeah, over 1 million people have played it. A mod.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
popularity.
That means 1 million copies of Arma 2 had to have been sold.
Well,
a PC exclusive.
you know, there are other ways to acquire a PC game. Nefarious ways that we
True.
won't mention.
I think you just mentioned piracy.
We don't talk about such things
Yeah.
here.
I thought you were talking about GameStop.
No,
PC games from GameStop?
I don't.
What is this new devilry?
What is that even?
I don't think they carry anything other than Doom for Linux.
They have the PC rack at like every GameStop, and it's just so sad.
It is.
It's just
like
a single rack.
yeah, sitting in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm.
With like
It's all
four-
used games.
No, there's no used PC games. Unless you use Green Man Gaming, then you can trade in your digital PC games. That's weird.
Or World of Warcraft discs.
But people are saying that DayZ is like the next like Counter-Strike because it's so popular and it's a mod. And I don't know if you know this, but Counter-Strike was super popular. It still is, but it
Yeah.
was super popular.
I mean,
Go ahead.
regardless of like what it's compared to, it is like really hard right now.
It is.
It's like it's kind of in, you know, you know, PC gaming. The crowd gets into certain things, like they got into Minecraft a while back, and it seems DayZ is kind of the thing right now. Even though none of us seem to be playing it,
Well,
specifically us.
Axe, you have it, right? Don't you
And
have the Arma?
I have Arma, but I don't have that. I tried their installer thing, and it installed a bunch of spyware and stuff, and I am not going to use that again. I'm going to install it manually.
See, I'm interested in playing it because I think out of all of us, I'm the one who actually enjoys like roguelikes. Seems like something that I'd be like kind of into.
But this is a multiplayer first-person shooter roguelike. I could get into that.
Well, yeah, that's true. There are aspects of this that you could also enjoy, X, but I won't get it until the stupid Arma 2 goes on sale. And I know it did go on sale during the summer sale, but that was still like $20.
It was under 20. It went on sale for like 60% off. That's when I bought it.
How
When
much?
It was like 17.
What's 60%?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 10.
Good luck.
Yeah, well,
Considering the
eventually
game
it'll
is
get there.
selling better now than it ever has, I don't think the price is going to drop anytime soon.
Well, it's just to me like I'm not interested enough in it that like I want to be willing to spend more than $10. Maybe if it goes 15, maybe, but that would be like when like I had like ample like spending money, so I don't really care.
Is it just Arma 2 that you need, or do you need
I think you
like,
need
the
combined
Operation-
ops.
Well, that's just Arma 2 and Operation Arrowhead.
Well, that's what you need. I think I got on
Okay.
Steam. It says specifically, in order to run DayZ, you need this. That's what it says.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I'll play it, but when Arma 2 and all that crap goes cheap.
Skyrim is higher on your list with its new DLC Dawn Guard.
I don't have
Which
Skyrim.
I always hear it as Dong Guard.
Same here.
Because you always
I
got dongs on your
almost
mind.
bought Skyrim during the summer sale, but I didn't.
I think that's gonna be the next game I play, or the next new game.
I think the next new game I'm gonna play is Darksiders 2, which comes out in like a week.
You are pooping your pants in excitement.
No, I have controls over my bowels.
Heart palpitations of
I
excitement.
saw the Quick Look
Okay.
EX on Giant Bomb for that, and I mean, I'm interested because they added like a loot system and all sorts of stuff.
Yep, it seems like they're adding systems to make it ready for co-op. That's what it seems like to me. But I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, and the combat definitely looks like more fluid and more kind of character actiony. When I look at videos of Darksiders 1, it kind of looks like God of War-ish. You know, pretty basic.
Yeah, well, it's never really all about the combat. The game is a Zelda clone.
Yeah, it was like a lot, you know, it was like wider scope. But
Yeah.
like I saw the combat in part 2, and it seems like, I don't know, it just seems fast to me.
Well, they also
Surprisingly fast.
added Prince of Persia style platforming.
Go there and kill everything isn't the point of the
No,
game.
it's all puzzles.
Didn't part 2 have part 1 have something like that, or was that just like the grappling hook, the hook shot?
You had a portal gun, right?
Yeah, there's a portal gun, but it was on.
There was a lot of everything.
You could only shoot that on specific areas.
Like the white tiles with moon dust.
Yes. Spoilers. But that comes out soon. I'm so excited for that. It's gonna be the best. I hope it
What?
sells a lot so that THQ can stay in business. Because THQ is
Yeah.
in trouble.
I don't want THQ going down because I want my Company Heroes 2 next year.
Also, Metro Last Light.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I want Metro Last. I like post-apocalyptic games.
Post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yes, like Fallout 3 or fiction concerning it.
I heard someone
Not
was
just-
playing Fallout around here.
Who was that?
I know some jerk.
Not me.
Some jerk
Oh, wait.
that's playing a game years after it comes out.
Hey, leave me alone.
Or are you late to the party or something?
I'm very late to the party. Well, I mean, I played while I was like the only game that I actually played while I was looking for work earlier this year was Fallout New Vegas. So I finally, when I finally finished that, I was kind of like, just okay. You know, I enjoyed the experience and it was pretty good, but just now got around to going back and playing Fallout 3 and. I don't know. I was anticipating not burning through the game and just kind of doing side missions and then do like doing predominantly side missions and then, doing the story missions. But then I kind of hit a point in the story missions where it was like, oh, I guess I'm just, this is the end of the game.
Did you get any
Sorry.
of the
Yeah.
DLC?
Yeah, I've got the DLC.
Okay, good.
And I'm going to go back and do some of that eventually.
Yeah, I mean, even before you beat the story, you can go back and do side missions galore. But the story in Fallout 3, I remember, you could actually get through it pretty fast.
Well, I asked about DLC because there was one of the DLCs made it so that you continue playing after the end of the game. It added a
Yeah.
choice that you could do. Otherwise, you just would have to stop and start over. Or load it.
Or load up
Yeah,
a
an
save.
older save. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I went through and I was having trouble at the very end, with which if you're anyone who's familiar with the game, you have to put in a code without getting too much into it. And the first time I tried it, and it was like this, I wasn't getting any feedback when I was trying to punch in the code. And so I died.
You died?
That's fascinating.
That's
Yeah,
how
it
your
was-
story ends? I was waiting for some kind of like
So-
big
So-
something to happen.
Are you sure you weren't
No,
watching
so-
Rubber?
yeah.
Celebrate
So I
the
went
winners.
back and did it again with and had my companion do it.
Yep. Did you have Fox?
Yes.
Fox is the best.
He's the best.
He is.
I didn't have Fox.
Fox.
Then you were a loser.
Fox is literally the best thing in the game.
Whatever.
The best.
So yeah, he was. Yeah. So I mean, I only got to like level 15. So, and I had 2 companions, and they both came like within the last 90 minutes of the game. I got the one Brotherhood of Steel paladin, and then when I went and did the thing with the thing, when you find Fox, after that, then I just picked Fox up and was using him.
Well, when you have Fox, you have a guy running around with a laser minigun with infinite ammo, just running around shooting things for you.
You know, you
Yeah, I
can't
didn't
get
get to
Fox
experience
if you're
that too
evil,
much.
which is why I couldn't get Fox.
I blew a megaton, and I still got him.
Well, you must not have been as evil as I was.
I blew a megaton.
I killed
that
everybody in
resonated your
Megaton,
back.
and then I blew it up. And then I killed everybody in Tenpenny Tower.
I don't think I ever made it to Tenpenny Tower.
Really? I made it there.
I made it
Well,
there.
it's not that I couldn't. It's just that I never.
And then I
got
let
there.
zombies in.
Yeah, I was
I
never
too let
happy
the
about
zombie-
how that Tenpenny Tower, like, how it ended up resolving itself. Because it was really like, there's nothing you could do. It was like either wipe out one side or the other side's gonna wipe it out.
Fallout really didn't offer any amount of gray area like New Vegas did.
I never played New Vegas.
It's
Yeah,
fun,
it's fun.
but all you really need is old world blues.
Oh god, that was the only. I own all of the DLC for New Vegas, but I think Old World Blues is the only one that I've actually played, and that was so much fun. It reminded me of like Portal, just in tone.
That is why Obsidian was Obsidian has a large amount of the original writers of the original Fallout games. That's very similar to the old world blues feel, but the previous Fallout game, Fallout 3, didn't have the Obsidian Studios.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's gonna be something I'm gonna do eventually. Is I bought Fallout 1 and 2 on Good Old Games, and I think I'm going to sit down and start playing those at least one, probably the first one, but do that eventually. Don't know when.
You know, I have also been playing an older game. Just recently.
Which one?
Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Deus Ex.
Mhm.
It's like less than a year old.
Yeah, but I got it during the holiday sale during Christmas time, and I had problems running it. It wouldn't run smoothly on my computer, and now I guess ATI fixed their drivers because I just, on a whim, tried booting it up, and it was fine. And that game is hella fun.
You didn't ask for kicks.
I'm kind of stealthing around. It reminds me a lot of Tenchu. This is what I like. Running up behind guys, knocking them out, hiding their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever ask for this?
I know what we're talking
I too have
about.
been
Don't talk
into
about too much because I've only finished like the first mission, so I've only played like maybe 2 hours.
Did you get to the part where the thing happens?
No spoilers.
Well, how is that thing?
The thing and the thing and the thing.
With the
Well,
thing.
it's the
thing
central
cut-
plot of the game. You would know if you had this happen to your character yet.
Wait, have you asked for this yet, Dagazu?
Yes, have you asked for it?
No,
Yeah.
Was he given cybernetic arms yet?
Oh my god, spoilers.
dude, you're the worst. Good lord, man.
We were all
I have no clue what
we
you
were all
even
dancing
talking
around
about,
it,
so-
and then you just blurted it out.
I didn't know what we were talking about. I never played the
I
game.
can't believe you. I haven't played it either, but I know about cybernetic arms. Dagazu, you should know about it too.
I know.
Oh wait, so okay,
I was
so you're
just playing dumb, but then good lord, man, ruined our fun.
I
So
don't
the
know.
only
It
thing
wasn't that
that's-
much fun.
The
Well,
only thing
I
that's
ruined
going
fun.
into my mind right now is that song "Detachable Penis."
Why are you always
Huh.
thinking about penises?
Maybe he watched Rubber one too many times.
There's
Zing.
no penises
No, he
in
hasn't
that.
watched it yet, but that's why he wants to watch it. He was the only one who was like, I want to watch this movie now. Now we know why.
But why?
I don't want to set the world on fire.
You remember that guy that used to come on the 2 server and blare music? Just blaring it? And
Yeah,
it'd be like
it was
from
like,
Fallout 3.
Was it Fallout
Yeah.
3? It was like Big Bang music.
There was definitely
Yeah.
music from Fallout 3.
Oh, it was like from the soundtrack.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, that song you were just singing is in it, and I was like, "Hey, I feel like I'm back in the Capital Wasteland.
You know,
I'm gonna go smoke some."
if you
cigarettes."
guys listening don't go on the TF2 server, you should. It's good.
But we've been running out of spots for regulars.
Well, maybe
Good
they
one,
can
man.
come on during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have.
Oh, we're
Good
too
problems.
popular.
Well, along with spoilers and ruining fun, I made a movie choice.
We're
that
not
made
talking
people
about
sad.
that yet.
Okay.
I'm not.
We're
I'm not ready to be
transitioning.
depressed quite yet.
Stop trying to take us to Bummer Town.
We need to take a
won't you
break
take
before
me
we
to
we go to Bummer Town.
Bummer Town.
Dark Fox, say goodbye.
Won't you take me to
Oh, you doing it now?
Bummer
Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna
is
take a
there
break.
anything you want to bring up, Dark Fox, before you leave?
Metal Gear Solid 4 Trophy Patch, bitch. Deal with it.
Deal with it? How?
By getting a platinum on it and playing a great game.
Trophies are dumb.
I'm sorry for calling you a bitch. I'm sorry.
We'll be right back.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire.
And we are back. We are now joined by Kevin EP3. Kevin, say hi.
No.
Jerk. Kevin has joined us and Dark Fox has left us because Dark Fox didn't see the Movie Box pick, which was Good Lord Man's movie. Good Lord Man, introduce your movie for Movie Box.
Didn't you? It was The Road with Viggo Mortensen. Or by Viggo Mortensen.
With
Won't you take me to Bummer Town?
Bummer Town.
The movie is about post-apocalyptic, where the world has ended through what seems to be natural disasters, and
It's never explained.
Yeah, it just sort of hit at.
which they don't hint at all in the book. Just saying.
They just say that a calamity happened or whatever.
They don't
No,
even
you
even
just-
say that.
Get in the world and the world's fucked up and you don't know why and you don't find out.
I
I think that a super volcano erupted because ash is covering everything in the entire movie.
Yeah, that actually kind of makes sense.
Or nukes.
Nope.
Nukes wouldn't do all that.
There'd be radiation if there was
Wouldn't
nukes.
they?
Clear winner.
So,
Ash covering the
I
sky
played
can
Metro.
also
You
do
could
it.
walk around in that stuff. And
That was-
Stalker.
Metro took place years, and so did Stalker, years later.
So does this.
5 years later.
You know, I
How
was
old
all-
would you say the kid is?
7 or 8.
He's
Yeah.
like 8.
Not
Okay,
that
so
many
about
years.
8 years later?
That's not long enough.
Sure it is.
No, it isn't.
You know,
You're
side
dumb.
note,
Yeah.
I
You're
was
dumb.
gonna say the world of Stalker. I always assumed that outside of the zone is actually pretty normal, at least in
Yeah.
the world of Stalker.
Yeah, I think it's fine too, because the one thing can only put its influence over the zone.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, getting back to this movie,
What about it?
Just puts a big smile on my face.
Why?
You are a sick
No, I'm
fucker,
kidding.
Mac.
This movie is Bummer Town.
It is quite sad, but one person said it was devoid of hope, and I don't see that with the movie. I think the scene with the old man is okay, and when they find the bunker is also kind of happy.
That's like yeah, and then they leave.
Well,
Well,
really,
they
I
can't
mean,
stay there.
the whole movie, I think, from the start, Viggo Mortensen had like lung cancer or something because he was coughing and everything from the beginning. So through the movie, he was looking for someone to take over taking care of his kid. I think that's what the whole movie was about, and he was doing all of this stuff just so that his son could have someone with him.
And wait, we do spoil this here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
quite.
But by the end of it, there is, and there's even a chance of the human race being propagated later on.
I was waiting for at the end that who was the actor playing Guy
Guy
this
Pearce?
season?
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, I was waiting for Guy Pearce to pull a gun on the kid and shoot him.
Why is it that all the survivors have terrible teeth? I don't just mean like dirty, I mean like terrible. They're all crooked and sticking out of their face weird.
Because they
Secretly-
have to eat like the worst garbage because everything's all rotten and like
Oh, yeah.
nasty.
Also, they haven't had toothpaste
And the
for 7
world
years.
is fucked
No,
up.
toothpaste would not make your teeth crooked. None
Nope.
of that would make your teeth crooked.
Eating trash would.
Like Guy Pearce had fake teeth in it to make him look all weird.
Secretly was all
something
set in
else.
England.
This movie was Hobo Land in Bummertown.
Why in the hell is Guy Pearce, like in everything that he's been in the past like 5 years, looking like extremely weird?
Like he looked normal in
He's living
Lockdown.
out his fantasies.
Yeah,
To
I
be
think he
somebody
said
else.
that he acts because it's fun. He doesn't like do it for the money, so he takes all the weird roles.
I guess that works.
He was in like the worst movie of the year though. unfortunately.
It sounds like
What?
X didn't like.
Prometheus.
We have a clause where you don't talk about Prometheus. It sounds like X didn't like The Road though.
I didn't know. I thought The Road was a good movie. It was super depressing.
I don't know if it was super depressing.
I can make
It was
fun of
super
things I
depressing.
like their teeth in this movie.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
And the guy I mentioned last week that I thought the guy that played the Terminator in the Sarcona Chronicles was in this, and he was. He was the guy
Congratulations.
that Viggo Mortensen shot in the head.
And that got eaten and had his remains shit on.
That guy was also in Burn Notice.
Is that what that was?
Oh yeah.
That brown stuff?
Yeah, that was them. They pooped on him. On his eaten body.
That scene was kind of gruesome. But in
They
general,
ate-
they don't show a lot of the really gruesome stuff. It's just kind of implied that it happens, and you hear it in the background. That
Well,
kinda made
there
it-
was the one scene in like basement.
that scene was
Oh,
really
the cannibal
tense.
scene.
It was really a suspenseful scene.
How is Viggo Mortensen's character so dumb to go in that house and see like the big pile of boots and everything and not want to get out of there immediately?
Because he was paranoid and the people could have been dead.
He needed to get out of there. It was clear that people were still living in that house. That just didn't make sense at all.
Speaking of dumb characters, I hate how naive the kid is. I
Well, he's
understand
been living
still-
in a house with two people his entire life.
I understand he's a naive kid, but he's like, no. Especially after at the end where Viggo Mortensen's character gets shot in the leg with an arrow, and he goes to like, take out the people after shooting the flare into the window. The kid is like, no, don't do it. It's like, dude, your dad just got shot with an arrow. Who's gonna protect you when he's gone?
Also, there's a scene when they found the bunker with all the food, and they heard the dog, and he was like, that means there's people. And the kid was like, why do you always assume they're bad? But then at the end, it
Doesn't
turned
know.
out that the kid was right. They weren't bad. It was Guy Pearce.
Maybe.
It was Guy Pearce.
Well,
They
it's
could have been bad.
yeah.
It could have
You
been
never
bad.
know. It's implied that it's a hopeful situation, but who knows what could have happened next?
Killed him and ate him.
Exactly, and pooped on his remains.
Maybe the kid kills them and eats them.
I don't think so.
Just pistol whips everyone to death,
Are you carrying the fire?
and then he burns out their eyes.
You are now, and then he sets them on fire.
So I saw this movie after X and saw it, and you guys were like, "Oh my god, trip to Bummertown," and Kenzo was like, "Oh my god, this movie is super depressing, and it's made to make you feel bad." So when I saw it, I was like, "This isn't that bad." It's still
Yeah,
pretty
it's-
sad, but
The book wasn't nearly as. I don't remember the book being kind of nearly as downtrodden either.
No, it was.
It's been a few years. It was. I remember the book being extremely good.
Yes, it was.
I think he must have saved all of the apostrophes from contractions and save those up and then was put that into making the book good.
I have no idea what you just said.
Like if the word can't, you know how CAN
Yes.
apostrophe T, he doesn't use apostrophes in the book.
Okay.
It was just some weird random thing that I was remembering at that right now.
is the
Remember-
book? I'm sorry, X.
I was going to bring up Charlize Theron, and she died.
She wasn't in the book, and I don't like that they added her in the movie.
I was about to ask, what is the difference between the book and the movie?
Yeah,
Other
they-
than that, I would say the movie's actually pretty close. Like, they did a good job.
There were definitely things to where it wasn't like there were certain parts where I feel like the book kind of made you feel more ill at ease at times, but that's just that was probably just because my imagination was probably worse than what they actually showed in the movie at points.
Oh, you mean like when the mother and kids hunted down by the cannibals?
Yeah,
We don't
and
see it, but it's just implied.
No, you hear it, though.
Yes.
But there was that scene with the running across the field.
Yes.
You saw that.
Yeah, well, you saw them running across the field being chased, and you didn't see them get killed. You just heard, like, a squish.
I'm super surprised that I did not see rape in this movie because I was terrified I was going to see some rape.
yeah, there was. If memory serves, there was rape in the book.
Charlize Theron talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah, he was thinking his son was going to get raped.
Yep. So she took off her coat and walked into the woods at night
To be raped.
to be frozen to death.
A lot less rape than we all expected.
Yeah, I kind of like how down and depressed it was.
I was expecting tragedy, but it was sad, but it wasn't a tragedy.
Wait, you like being depressed, Kevin?
No, but I like that it's a world that it actually feels real. That there's no hope. There's not just these big groups of survivors who, they're just magically doing great.
Well, there could be. It's just they never found them.
No,
There was
really
big groups
couldn't.
of survivors because there were groups that were eating people. We saw one big group on a truck.
That's how it is, though. The groups that have survived are alive because they do really fucked up shit.
Well, no, to assume that there's groups, that means you have to assume that there's good groups too.
No, that's just how the groups really are.
There could be huge groups that are self-sufficient inside prisons.
Or in an underground bunker.
No.
Yes. It could be in the vaults from Fallout.
No.
Some Fallout fans could have lived and known exactly what to do.
Yeah, they would have to get the thing to fix all the water.
Yeah.
I feel in most post-apocalyptic stuff, everyone just lives too easily. You're get by, gets by
I wouldn't
too
say
easily.
that. In Metro 3,
Okay,
there's
that's a good example though. They had a lot of bad shit going on in there.
Yep, crazy stuff happening up, on the surface. They can't leave. They're all growing mushrooms down in the subways, and even between the tunnels, you got weird, apparitions and crap happening.
mutants on the surface.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
without spoiling things.
I understand what you're saying. What NBC is doing that show where electricity is gone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Revolution.
Yeah, and that seems like it doesn't seem that bad at all.
It's a little implausible with all the growth of the vegetables and such, and I just imagined that the Amish would be the best group for that whole thing.
Well, clearly. They don't have electricity anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They
it
would
just
just be
seemed-
raising barns all over the place.
I feel like the Amish would be one of the few groups who could survive almost any disaster.
They
Well,
really would.
They'd be like, we got this, guys, don't worry.
Because they don't rely on any sort of technology at all.
But
Well, they have
specifically in the universe of the road, it's all vegetation and animals have died.
Yeah, pretty
At
much.
least by this point.
Well, yeah, because if the vegetation dies, then the animals die.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the dog was alive, so don't...
Well, so were the
We don't
people.
know.
Whatever the people were eating, the dog was eating.
So other people.
I don't think it was other people. I think it was bugs. Dead bugs.
But there were some alive bugs,
One.
so there would probably be more.
Could be.
It's just that in the world that it happened to have the boy and the man, they were very bad.
You would think there'd be fish, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The water didn't seem irradiated in that sense. That was the one thing, right? They were bathing
But
in
it
the water.
did seem real cold.
But why would it be irradiated if it's from a super volcano?
Wasn't there a scene where he was boiling the water though, and then cooling it
Well, that
down?
was because he got water from like a puddle in the road.
Okay.
It
Well, I'd
was all
still
like
boil it
black
anyway.
water.
There's dead things everywhere.
Good point. I think it sounds like everyone liked the movie.
Good.
Seems like
sad.
it.
Just a bummer.
You know what, Totoro? I remember you were telling me, I was like, well, would you rather see Requiem for a Dream or The Road again? And you were like, oh, I definitely see The Road. Yeah, I don't agree with you.
No, I said Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah, you would see Requiem for a Dream. I don't agree with you. I never want to see Requiem for a Dream ever again.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. When I think, there are just certain movies that, you see the once and it's like, okay, cool, I'm done. It's like, I think I was relaying my experience. I watched Apocalypse Now and The Deer Hunter over the same weekend. And I was like, okay, Apocalypse Now, I liked that. That was entertaining. I could stand to watch that again. Deer Hunter, not so much.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching The Road again as opposed to Requiem for a Dream.
What about No Country for Old Men?
Really? No, on Deer Hunter? I've seen that a couple of times.
No.
No Country for Old Men is fine.
Yeah, that's not depressing at all.
What's the most you've ever lost?
There's more awesome in that movie than sad.
How about There Will Be Blood?
I haven't seen that.
I've seen part of it. I've been meaning to watch it.
It gets boring.
That's kind of one of the reasons I haven't watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I could probably stand to. I've seen that once, but I don't know. I would say like 95% of movies that I've ever watched, it's like I can stand to never watch this again.
I think I already know my next movie box pick.
Transformers.
Well, too bad, because you're not the next pick. I am.
Requiem for a Dream.
How about Schindler's List?
No.
After you say your pick, I have some breaking news / things to update.
Breaking Bad news?
Nope.
Already?
Something we talked about earlier in the podcast. Something has just come out that makes it untrue.
Okay.
okay.
My movie box pick is going to be Shall We Dance, and this is a Japanese film, and it was remade in English with Richard Gere, and that movie is balls.
I think
But,
you mean it was made in English and then remade in Japanese.
Shut up, Kevin.
What? The original film is Japanese, and then there was a remake. And listen, the remake sucks, but the original Japanese film is really good. It's on Netflix streaming. It's subbed, and I remember the sub not being the best, but it does a pretty good job. It's kind of a comedy, but it also stars the main samurai from 13th Assassins, same actor.
Oh shit.
Oh, cool.
Does he kill people in this one?
No, he does some ballroom dancing.
Are you sure you don't want to pick Step Up 3D?
No, I really like this movie. I think
Step Up to the Streets?
It's not really
Step
a
Up.
romantic comedy. It's not fully a comedy, but it's just really heartfelt. And you know, this entire plot works because it takes place in Japan. It doesn't work for the English remake. So,
I
But
think
that's my
that's
choice.
just because
Shall
you're
we
racist.
dance?
We can't choose a different Japanese movie like Ichi the Killer.
No, fuck that movie. That movie sucks.
Yeah, Ichi is,
It's messed up.
Yeah, and it sucks. I'd rather watch like Audition if I was gonna watch Takeshi.
You would
Miike
rather
film.
watch
Zebra Man.
God.
Watch In Bruges.
You mean that
That
garbage
movie's so
movie
good.
that's really bad? Yeah, no.
You're an inanimate fucking object.
Whatever. My choice is Shall We Dance. Anyway, X, give us your update.
It looks like Daredevil might be going back to Marvel.
Really?
Because there's talks with a director to direct it for Fox, but the studio might be ready to let the character go back to Marvel unless Marvel is willing to co-finance it. And it looks
Well-
like that the talk about trading Silver Surfer and Galactus might not have been true, because now there's people denying it. Studio insiders are denying it.
So
They're
basically,
denying it.
Also, I doubt Fox is that stupid.
It must be true.
This is what Deadline is saying.
So if that's the case, that means they're just gonna run out of their contract on Daredevil. It's gonna go back to Marvel, and they're not
Yeah.
necessarily gonna give Marvel Galactus and Silver Surfer.
It sounds like if they're about to hit their deadline for Daredevil, so if they don't make the movie, it goes back to Marvel.
Okay.
Can they just make some
Surprised
garbage movie?
They
I was
could.
gonna say,
I mean, like,
I'm
super
surprised
cheap
they're not,
garbage.
yeah, I'm surprised they're not like just rushing out some like hour and a half thing of like some guy running around in a suit.
How are they gonna
Oh,
make
hour and a
a
half? You give it
comeback
that long?
and a reboot after
Well, it
they
has to
put
be
out something
featured.
like that, though? Besides, I think that's wise. The Daredevil, we said it earlier, but I know you guys said you can make it gritty and like Batman Begins, but I don't know.
It sounds
Well-
like if Fox does make this Daredevil movie, it's going to be like they're saying Frank Miller-esque hardcore 70s thriller. That's what it's going to be like.
So the Dark Knight.
Can we just get DC's?
Only if
Shut
it's
up,
the
Kevin.
Flash, and the Flash beats the crap out of Superman.
Whatever.
Or
Because that's what would happen if they fought. Superman would get destroyed.
I just want a Justice League movie. Be badass.
Only if they do it the way Marvel did the Avengers and make all the movies first, the individual movies, and then combine them for Justice League.
that would probably be too much work and money for them.
Yeah.
Though I would enjoy seeing a Martian Manhunter movie.
Yes, I would too. That'd be sick.
I would like to see
I don't
want
want to see a Wonder Woman movie though.
You know, Joss Whedon was supposed to make a Wonder Woman movie.
If they cast that one woman from Mad Men as Wonder Woman.
Who? If you said
Christina
January.
Hendricks.
Okay, you didn't say January Jones, thank God.
I was gonna say if January Jones is nearly to have her starring in a movie is a good way to get me to not watch it.
She's like the worst actor of all time.
She would be a bad actor.
Christina Hendricks could work, I guess, maybe. Not really. She doesn't really look anything like Wonder Woman at all.
I'd consider seeing the movie.
I
Just
would most
saying.
definitely see the movie.
Well, this got totally misogynistic.
Very.
If it was like early Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Totoro, do you have an update about your streaming on Amnesia?
Oh yeah, the game is really fucking boring, and I'm not going to do that.
AKA too scared.
No,
if
Totoro
you-
doesn't get scared. He gets annoyed.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. If you watched/heard my the play sessions that I did on it, I was just getting annoyed.
Well, I watched the first one and you couldn't figure out where to go or anything.
Shut up, Kevin.
If you want to watch someone get scared, I might be doing some more streaming of Slender. Apan and I have been streaming, but I need to. I'm gonna mess around with the link that X posted and see if I can get a better capture.
Is Slender actually scary?
It's
Music does-
freaky
you
enough.
don't you just walk around and then randomly a skinny guy shows up and then you go, oh no, and then you die? Isn't that what
Yeah,
happens?
but the audio is really good, and it's dark, it's foggy, you can't see well, and then I scream because the guy shows up, and I'm like, oh my god! So
Because you're a weenie.
whatever.
If
I
you
played
beat-
that for a little. I couldn't figure out where to go.
If you beat the first one, here's a little bit of spoilers. You can play in the daytime, and after you beat it in the daytime, you can unlock $20 mode, and you will enjoy $20 mode.
Wait, what's $20 mode? Do they actually send you $20?
No, but it makes the game a lot more humorous.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play the game long enough.
You would become less scared and laugh more.
That would require me to beat the game once already, and
It would require you to beat the twice.
Ugh. Anyway, one final thing I wanted to mention. This week is my wedding anniversary. So I just want to give a shout out to my wife. I love you. Thanks for listening to this episode. Thanks to Darfox, Lord XV, Kevin EP3, and special guest Tomo for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, please donate to the official Geekbox Mumble server where we hang out and record the podcast. If you want to be on the podcast, jump into the Mumble server, come talk to us, or you could PM us on the forums at forums.geekbox.net. PM either Mr. X, Totoro, or me, Dr. Zoo. And follow us on Twitter at AllTalkPodcast. You can email us questions at podcast@alltalkpodcast.com, or you can please review us on iTunes. Don't forget to listen to the other podcasts, including The Geek Boss, Comic Conspiracy, The Comedy Button, and Good Job Brain as well. And that sums it up. I love you.
I know.